Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Let's Bubble podcast, where we meet founding leaders and really interesting people, experienced creators, and all sorts of people who are building incredible communities. And I'm excited today to have a very special guest, Jerome Stone. He is a actually regular guy. He's a registered nurse with 40 years experience. He's wearing his Aloha shirt because he lives in Hawaii on the Big Island. He's very lucky. And I met Jerome through an investment conversation with Bubbl. He's actually one of our investors. And what I love about Jerome is that he is living the dream here. He's living in Hawaii. He's working on helping startups and building startups. And he's getting involved with Bubbl. Hello, Jerome.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me here, Hayley. Really excited to be here and to share with people.
Isn't it Aloha? Forgive me.
Hello. You said hello. I said hello. I should have said hello. Yes, you got me on that.
Might have been the nerves. Very cool. Well, yeah, no, I mean, so I want to welcome Jerome, and I'm excited to learn a bit more about Jerome's story. I don't think you started in Hawaii, so I'd love to learn about that. And like when we go on the show, what we really like want to hear and learn, we love telling other people's stories. We love learning because everyone has a journey, and everyone has something that shaped them. So maybe we'll start off with that. Love to learn more about your background, your path, what took you into nursing, your passions and values. I know you love to travel. Yeah, tell us a little bit about who is Jerome Stone.
Thank you, Hayley. Thanks so much. Well, um, to briefly describe my nursing career, because it is very extensive, I've been a nurse for over 40 years. I've worked in a variety of different environments: intensive care unit, pain
Wow.
management, hospice, case management, and presently I'm working with a startup company developing a way to defragment electronic medical records. My passion throughout nursing, and this is pretty consistent even from nursing school, has always been how can I support and help nurses to show up at the bedside with awareness and compassion? Because I think what happens oftentimes is nursing burnout sets in. We aren't appreciated, we aren't acknowledged. The public knows plenty about us. I think for 17 years in a row now, we're the most trusted profession. But
Wow.
when it comes to the support that we get within nursing and within the nursing environment, the healthcare environment, not always so much. Oftentimes we're in
Okay.
the trenches, we're left to kind of hang out to dry, oftentimes in difficult situations. And I've always wanted to provide a means, either just through friendship or, as I've done more recently, through other means, such as writing a book for nurses on using meditation and compassion, providing retreats, which I'm doing coming up here pretty soon for nurses, working with Bubbl doing that, or extended retreat, which is my vision for the Camino de Santiago. I want to bring nurses together in connections and community that provides the basis for support, so that is not so that our support for one another extends beyond just work. We aren't saying how are you doing as we're passing each other in the hall or handing off a cup of coffee to our peers, but actually creating a community where there's ongoing dialogue, and where, most importantly, Hayley, where we play together. Because
Yes.
play is for a forgotten skill in general as we
100%.
as we become adults. I mean, that's what Bubbl is about. Bubbl is how can we creatively meet people, create meaningful connections, and play together. And
Yep.
that is where I'm at, is wanting to bring nurses together. Let's play.
Yeah.
Let's establish
Love that.
some good community and connections. So that's
You are
very brief.
truly aligned with Bubbl because, like, and my background, I worked at Virgin, and that company is, and I say it, we're building a very serious business about fun. Because play and fun, I think I think they're like dirty words in business. I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
If and what I found so refreshing when I went to Fest Forums, which is a conference for festival organizers, was that here I was in a environment with all these people whose business was to build serious businesses about fun. And there are serious conversations in those things, but yeah, I think completely there are too many people on the planet that are not taking life too seriously, but and this from nursing, life's short. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And you are a true poster child for like the sort of person that is going to help change the world. Clearly, your mission around what you want to do with nurses from your own experience. And I know, I do think the world really got a heightened sense of like appreciation for nurses as if it wasn't enough already from COVID.
Oh yeah.
That was an incredibly stressful time. Were you working during COVID, or where were you?
I was working during COVID, yes.
Were you? Yeah. Where were you? Have you always been in Hawaii, or?
No, no, no. So Hawaii has only been, well, I've lived in Hawaii a number of times without going too much in depth. I've been here for 6 years now. I also lived here many years ago, but I've done nursing around the country. I lived in Colorado, I lived in Maine and
Right.
California and Seattle were my main areas
Right.
where I lived.
Yeah. So you've seen it
Um,
all. So what you want to build, and I want to show everyone in a few minutes a couple of things about what you're building. And actually, how, I see us as kind of like the facilitator of all of these communities that are going to get built. Sorry, excuse me for that. Can you see my, actually, I want to show you a profile first. So
absolutely.
here is Jerome, and he's setting a few of these up right now. This is his user profile, showing his psychology, mythology majors, and what he wants in a bubble. And where are you going? Morocco. Perfect. I love that. Coordinating a journey on the El Camino. So recently you walked the El Camino, didn't you? And
Yes, so I
found it.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a portion of the Camino with my family. It was extraordinary. We did 180 miles. I think and I just want to interface real
That's awesome.
quick, dovetail with why it's nurses, is because when one walks the Camino as a pilgrimage, we wake up in the morning, we have breakfast, coffee with other pilgrims, peregrinos, as we are known, and then we
Mhm.
walk. And all we're doing is we're walking and we're engaging with our environment, which is
Nice.
oftentimes very beautiful, and with the people we meet along the path. And this is a way to simplify things, to decrease the busyness within our minds, and to just have fun, play, and connect.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly. So, and so that you're going to set that up as kind of like a mini business kind of thing. We've talked about how you could set it up, and just to share it, like we're going to talk about your retreat coming up, because I think that's also really cool, and I really want to lean into what you want to build for nurses, because I think it's a huge vision. But it's interesting, the Camino. I think it was 500,000 people walk that every year, and there's
absolutely.
no community building mechanism per se for people while they're walking it, and to plan. I mean, I guess there's Facebook, but there's a lot of scammers on Facebook, which is why I built Bubbl. Your vision is to actually be able to build out, periods of time, chunks of Bubbl, like bubbles around, because bubbles kind of work around time periods where you can actually help people group together and coordinate their journey, and book it together, example, so that they can be at the same hotels and things together, organized and curated through the Bubbl platform, right?
Correct. Correct. There's many, communities created on the Camino, which we found out when we did it. However, again, because nurses tend to be insular and isolated and in our little silos running around. I mean, there are teams, and that's what I love about being in nursing, is when we work as a team, it's phenomenal. I think bringing nurses together and people together on the Camino to create a tribe, a group of people who are sharing this experience, yet having our own unique personal experience, is the epitome of how we create connection with individuals. And yeah, so my vision is really to take people on curated walks, whether it's 2 weeks or 6 weeks along the Camino, as a means to establishing connection and
I
as a
love
means
it.
to creating
And
community.
you're probably going to curate maybe some nurses, to your point, because that's your thing. They're
Absolutely.
your people. And the
Absolutely.
thing about Bubbl is, so I want to talk about your retreat now that you're doing, but in Hawaii. And that's the thing about Bubbl. It's like, who bubbles? Well, a lot of people bubble. They bubble with people like them. So you can kind of find your people and basically coordinate these in real life experiences for them, with them. Now, interestingly, this is in the planning stage. We're going to be changing it to be called forming, just because I think bubbles form. I do like the image. That's kind of cool. The nurse could be you, couldn't it? You're back. So you've set this up as like a planning bubble where you're locating the property. We're helping you do that at the moment. The idea is that this will happen where you live in Kona. That is really beautiful, isn't it? Where you live? You live in Hilo, do you? Or
I
Hilo?
live in Hilo on the other side,
Yeah.
but it's not that far to Kona, the other side of the island. Yeah.
By the way, what's the name of your book? We'll give that a plug. What's it called?
Okay, the name of my book is called Minding the Bedside, Nursing from the Heart of the Awakened Mind. I've
Mm.
taught over 1,000 people out of the book, basically how to use meditative awareness and compassion as an antidote to stress. And I do want to say, I've also taught hundreds of lay people, including school teachers, hospital administrators, etc. Yeah.
Really interesting. So in our next version of the platform, I want you to put the tag that you're a a facilitator, because we're gonna we have these different occupation tags that you can identify as. So you would probably put that in there so people would know who you are and what you've done, because that's really cool. And everyone, this is our current platform. We're working hard on the next iteration. This was like our MVP. But yeah, so tell us what you'll be building. Like, tell us what people are going to be doing, and how you're imagining this will happen, and how, like, this nurse is really here. What will make this experience better for you?
Sure. So the meditation, the Halloween meditation retreat in Hawaii, will be a small group. I'm looking at probably about 10 nurses all coming together, staying in a home. So there's so many beautiful homes over in the Kailua-Kona area, staying in a home together. So we have a home environment. What does that do? It creates kind of a feeling of family. In
Yes.
Hawaii, there's a word ohana. Traditionally, it means family. However, in the generalized sense of it, it means one's extended family, perhaps one's tribe. Perhaps people are very close together. And my vision is to bring nurses together, to share meals together, to do meditation multiple times throughout the day. And it can be walking meditation, eating, talking, whatever, because people have narrow visions of what meditation is, and
Right.
to play together. So have conversations, play games, go for walks on the beach, to have discussions over lunch, really create the community, not just focused on work, not just focused on what it means to be a nurse, but what does it mean to be a human being who happens to take care of other beings, who
I love
happens to
it.
take care of other people. Yeah.
What I love about this, and I just want to explain the structure. So what you've done is you've created this planning bubble, and like I said, it's going to be our stage. It's a
Yeah.
two-stage bubble. You're creating interest first. We've got a show interest button here, and you're sharing this about with your nurse and your nursing groups, and asking them who's interested, and showing them what the approximate costs are going to be, telling them what you're envisaging, getting their input, and then you're saying, okay, this is what you'll have to pay on top of your room. We'll add the room prices as well once we know the property and get the interest. There'll be potentially activities that you are putting together, because you know this island and you know what's cool to do. So these are additional things that they could do as optional extras. I noticed that this is going to be in Kona, so you can show where it is. There's a private bulletin board. Oh, this is the private listing. Obviously, I think we've got a private listing here. What's this file? I don't know what this file is, but so here we go. So someone, when they show interest, everyone can do this when they're a leader of a Bubbl. You're actually asking them what they like to do.
Yep.
So it's a way for you to gather preferences.
Exactly.
Would you pay this? Would you do that? You can ask things like, are you willing to share a room, so that that you can work out the makeup of the house. That would clearly come with a cheaper price, probably. Is there anything? And would you pay this much? So definitely, that's kind of the way to do it. Find out what people want. Find out who's interested, and once they answer, they end up in your dashboard, and then in one place you can kind of collaborate with them. Obviously, you can screen them. You can see their answers, and you can set this up and basically run it.
Right. And I want to say, I think why Bubbl, the brilliance of the Bubbl model, it interfaces so well with what I'm trying to do, because Bubbl is about bringing people together in community with shared experience and shared events. And when you look at that, that's what lacks a lot in nursing. So Bubbl is the perfect platform, right, to establish this kind of connectivity and this kind of community. And why, when I started thinking about it, and I talked with you, and after I'd invested and started thinking about creating Bubbls, is I thought, oh my God, this is a perfect way. It's a platform to bring people together. So the Bubbl does what I'm trying to do with nurses. Bubbl brings people together for special events and occasions and trips, etc. I would like to do that with nurses. So it's a perfect fit in terms of anyone wanting to, I hate to use the word consolidate. It sounds so sterile and clinical, but to kind of consolidate people
Yes.
into groups, into ohana, right?
Yeah.
Into a tribe. And so
Yeah.
it just works so well. The
So
interface
I
is
spoke to
perfect.
some film production companies, film people, and they said the one thing about when you do a film, and you hear this because the actors talk about it all the time, they were like, in fact, I'm going to use the word family in some wording in our new one. they were like, you actually become a family when you do a film, because it's a closed production, not closed, but it's a production crew. And you often hear about them saying, the family breaks up, right? And then and what they do is they go and work together again later on. And that you see it in the movies. You see the same actors, the same directors. You just see these vibes and people. And I think that's really cool. And we're going to be, by the way, doing housing for lots of film companies. That's going to be very exciting. I think we can solve a lot of their challenges, especially around budgets and things like that. But so it's to me, like, that ohana word's very cool, because I think that by the end of it, I've seen Bubbls, people become like family even in 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's all it takes, a couple of days of spending time together.
Right. And can you imagine, I mean, just, even the idea of it is so exciting. Can you imagine a group of nurses who come together for 3 or 4 days, meditation, joyful, playful experience in Hawaii?
Yep.
What it'll create community. Or imagine a group of nurses in northern Spain walking for 2 to however many weeks together and getting to really know one another. This is lifelong community, and it's.
I mean, this could be something the hospital. I mean, I doubt it probably, but hospital. Jerome, we will support you. We could grow this into something quite big. This could become quite a big thing. I would love it to be.
It would be absolutely.
I spent a week in hospital for a bike accident. I was in the step down ward in 2013, and I learned to really appreciate what the nurses do. They are incredible. They do a remarkable job, and I'm very grateful for what they did for me. And anyone who has had anyone in hospital, absolutely. So I'm excited that we can support you in this journey. We can be learning from you. We can, you're going to help us shape our platform. You're one of our founding leaders, just to kind of share that before we kind of finish, that we have this crew of early leaders coming onto our platform who are shaping it with us. Yeah.
Very much so. Very happy to be here, Hayley. I feel so blessed to be, part of the founding crew and getting this thing started. It's very exciting.
You know what? I spoke to an Airbnb leader, ex-leader. She was 10 years at Airbnb, from the 100th employee. She was there then. And she spent 2 hours on the phone with me. She was so excited about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And that was a real pleasure for me, and really an honor for her to be, interested in Bubbl. And there were a lot of things we talked about the principle of it. And so anyway, suffice to say, we're really excited to have you, Jerome. We appreciate not just your investment and commitment, but also you being one of our early users, and we're grateful. And I would be excited to come on one of your retreats. I'm not a nurse, so maybe we can run another one for non-nurse. That'd be awesome. I'd love to go there. Very cool. We're out of time, but thank you, Jerome. We'll be sending you this podcast, and you'll be able to view this podcast where all good podcasts are viewed. I think it's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all the usual suspects. So thank you again. Is it mahalo? What do you say at the end?
Mahalo means thank you.
Mahalo. That's it.
Mahalo is thank you, and something I would like to share with the audience. This is very important and very special. And you say to people, malama pono. What it means in Hawaii, on the surface, it means take care. But in a deeper meaning in Hawaiian, it means take care of the light within yourself. Take care of that spark of creativity, of mana, which is the life energy. So I will depart now saying malama pono.
And can I say it back?
You certainly may.
Malamo pano?
Malama pono.
Sorry, malama puno.
Pono.
I'm sorry. Malama. Is it Pono?
It's P-O-N-O, but it's Pono. Yeah.
And it's with an N, Malana? Pono.
Lama.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might edit this bit out. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, Hayley. Take care. Be well.